Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport. Honda have been a big part of the BTCC since the mid-90s. That's 30 years of solid Honda touring car memories. When you consider Honda have been in and out of Formula 1 like a man regretting his purchase at his local brothel, it really is amazing that in some form or another we have had a Honda on the British touring car grid as long as we have. And it's more noticeable that they are absent from the 2024 grid. One Motorsport are having a sabbatical year, meaning no BTCC Honda in 2024. And whilst One Motorsport have said they will be back, Team Dynamics haven't returned, another Honda mainstay, so it might be a while before we see a Honda again. So let's look at every single one of the 198 Honda BTCC wins and list the winning drivers from least to most. As I said, Honda have been a feature of the BTCC for the last 30 years, but there were Hondas before that. I just don't remember Ray Arms winning in his Class D Honda Civic. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and let's jump into the video. Senna Proctor, 1 win. So in an event of a tie, I'll go with the most recent wins first. Senna Proctor took his only win for Honda in 2021, the only season he competed in a Honda for BTC, and the one where he took his second and last BTCC win. He took a few other podiums that season and finished the year 10th overall, but has sadly since disappeared from the BTCC scene. Daniel Rowbottom, 1 win. Potentially a future star of the British touring cars, Rowbottom spent 2 seasons with Team Dynamics in a Honda Civic and took a single win in 2021. He has since moved on to the Napa Ford team and taken another and remains there for the 2024 season. Sam Tordoff, 1 win. Poor Sam Tordoff, he just couldn't hold down a regular seat in the BTCC. He moved team so many times it wasn't worth him learning the catering lady's name. In not quite 6 seasons he raced in a Vauxhall, MG, BMW, Ford and his final season with Honda, where he took a win at his final BTCC meeting at Thruxton. Despite never getting to be a full-time regular for more than a couple of seasons with any one team, Sam Tordoff was quality, taking 7 wins and finishing runner-up overall to Gordon Shedden in 2016. He doesn't race much these days, occasionally turning up in historics. Chris Smiley, 1 win. 5.5 years in the BTCC netted Chris Smiley just 6 podiums, and one of those was a win. That win was for the BTC Norlin team in 2018 at the now gone Rockingham Raceway. He has since become a TCR UK champion in 2022, in a Honda funnily enough, and in 2024 returns to the BTCC with Restart Racing in a Cupra, a car still yet to win a race in the BTCC, despite Dan Lloyd's best efforts. Dan Lloyd, 1 win. Speaking of Dan Lloyd, he is a highly underrated driver and has 4 wins in the BTCC. The first of which was again in 2018 for BTC Norlin as Chris Smiley's teammate, taking his win a few races earlier in the year at Croft. He is also a TCR UK champion, the first in fact, and has sadly been unable to find a seat in the British touring cars after suffering funding issues throughout his time in the series. Matt Simpson, 1 win. I honestly forgot this man raced in the BTCC. Matt Simpson raced for the Simpson Racing team in the British touring cars in a Honda between 2016 and 2019. He took a single win in this time at Alton Park in 2018. 2018 was apparently the year for Honda drivers to take their only win for the brand. He now races in the British Pickup Championship. Mike Jordan, 1 win. After making his debut in the BTCC back in 1989 in a Class C Peugeot, Mike Jordan didn't race in the British touring cars again until 2006 in a Honda Integra Type R. He spent 3 seasons in the BTCC, finishing 8th in 2007 and taking his only win at Mondello Park in 2006. He even got to race against his son Andrew, who we will talk about later on this list. Much later, in fact. Alan Morrison, 1 win. The 2000 BTCC Production Class Champion, for what little that mattered, joined the returning Honda team in 2002. He only spent 2 years in the BTCC but did take a win at the final race of 2002. He briefly returned with Team Aon Ford in 2009 and has since disappeared from the racing scene. Andy Prio, 1 win. The man was a BMW guy for so long I completely forgot he ever raced anything else. He also took a win for Honda in 2002 and then stayed away from the BTCC until 2015. He returned with BMW and took another win. Outside of the BTCC, he won multiple European and World Touring Car Championships and was a mainstay for BMW until 2016, when he spent a few years with Ford, mostly in GT and endurance racing. He has seemingly retired from full-time motorsport around the time of the pandemic, but I'd welcome him back to the BTCC with open arms. Peter Cox, 1 win. The Dutchman was a super successful touring car driver and another BMW Works driver for many years. He won the 1993 Dutch touring cars, finishing second in the 1995 Super Tourenwagen Cup, and was a big part of the development for the McLaren F1 GT racer. He joined Honda in the BTCC in 1998, having previously done a few races in 1996 for BMW. He had a lot of bad luck and only took 1 win in 1999. He is still doing the occasional GT race, even helping to develop the Acura NSX GT car, taking wins in 2017. Rory Butcher, 3 wins. Our first multiple winner is Rory Butcher, a man who looked like the next big deal in the BTCC but has since had a disappointing spell at Toyota and has now left the series for the time being. After half a season in a Motorbase Ford and a full season in an MG, Butcher moved to the AMD Technic team and raced their Honda Civic to 3 race wins, his first of 11. He went back to Motorbase Ford and won 3, and then won another 5 for Toyota over the last 3 seasons. He has hinted he may return in the future. Jack Goff, 3 wins. 9 years in the BTCC with 6 different manufacturers, but by far the most successful period for Jack Goff was his 2 seasons in a Eurotech Honda Civic. He took 3 wins and finished 8th and 6th in the championship for those 2 years. His last few years were nowhere near as successful, and he has since seemingly stopped racing. Gareth Howell, 3 wins. This is the second time I've mentioned Gareth Howell this week, the most he's turned up in conversations for nearly 20 years. He was always a substitute driver, only having 1 full season with Atomic Kitten MG in 2002, but in 2005 and 2006 he was given a 3rd Honda Integra for Team Halfords and took the opportunity to win 3 races. He made his final appearances in a Seat in 2008 and is now a chief test and development driver for McLaren. Tom Christensen, 3 wins. It's a shame we only got the Le Mans legend for 1 season of British touring cars. After taking 3 wins for Honda in the 2000 season, he moved to the new DTM and began winning regular 24-hour races with Audi. The fact he didn't, and like so many others moved on before 2001, is a sign of how low things got and how low they could get again. David Leslie, 3 wins. If there was one thing I could change in the history of mankind, forget killing baby Hitler, I would make David Leslie the 1999 British Touring Car Champion, because he damn well deserved to win it. The Scotsman was around for years, usually racing for small teams like Ecurie Cos, but he got a big move to Honda when they debuted in 1995, and he took their first wins in 1996, the first of which was the Grand Prix support round. Sadly, he passed away in 2008 in a plane crash. Gabriele Tarquini, 4 wins. The best race driver ever and 1994 British Touring Car Champion, Gabriele Tarquini made numerous appearances for Honda. He first raced for Honda in 1997, taking a win and finishing 6th overall. He then did the end of the 99 season with Honda and stayed for 2000, taking 3 more wins and finishing 6th again. He'd also raced for Honda in the Super Tourenwagen Cup and the first couple of years of the European Touring Car Championship, and would later win the European, World and International Touring Car Series. Dan Eves, 6 wins. The first driver to win all 3 races in a single race weekend, a feat that has only been accomplished a couple of times in the near 20 years since. Dan Eves is maybe one of the more surprising names on this list. He joined the series in 2001 with Peugeot and stayed with the French marquee as Team Halfords began to run the cars for the next 2 years. He remained with Team Halfords as they switched to Honda in 2004, taking his first win, but it was in 2005 when he took 5 wins and finished 3rd overall. Despite this, he was replaced by Gordon Shedden and only returned briefly in 2009 in a Seat. Tom Chilton, 7 wins. For 5th most race starts in BTCC history, Tom Chilton has been around forever. He started racing in the BTCC when he was 17 in a Vauxhall, but made the move to Honda in 2003. He took his first wins in 2004 and added 4 more in 2005. After a couple of years in a Vauxhall, he joined Team Halfords for 1 season and took another Honda win. After time with Ford and a few years spent in the World Touring Cars, he returned to the BTCC in 2017 with Vauxhall and then Ford, and a single season for BTC Honda, but with no wins. Since then, he's joined Hyundai and is about to start his 18th BTCC season. 18 years of BTCC, plus 6 in World Touring Cars. 576 starts between the two. He has 15 BTCC wins, 7 World wins, and the only title he has ever won is the 2017 World Touring Car Independence title. Despite the length of his career, he's never really been a top driver, and sadly, his brother is yet to join him in the BTCC. Dan Camish, 8 wins. The 3-time Porsche GB champion joined the BTCC with Team Halfords in 2018 and spent 3 years with them, winning 8 races and nearly winning the 2019 championship, if not for brake failure. He did a few races for BTC in 2021, but left to win his 3rd Porsche title and has since returned with a dominant Napa Ford team. Andrew Jordan, 11 wins. The son of Mike Jordan, Andrew Jordan won 11 races in a Honda and a championship to boot. He started his 12-year spell in the BTCC in a private Honda Integra in 2008. After a few years in Vauxhalls, he ran a Honda Civic for a few years, with 6 of his wins coming in his title-winning year of 2013. He spent the rest of his time in an MG, a Ford, and a few BMWs, where he finished runner-up again in 2019, before moving on. He does some historic racing now, amongst other projects. James Thompson, 13 wins. 2-time British Touring Car champion James Thompson was Honda's first young star driver in British touring cars, and yet he never won a championship for the Japanese brand. After debuting in 1994 in a privately entered Peugeot and a couple of years with Vauxhall, Thompson spent 4 seasons with Honda between 1997 and 2000. He took 13 wins and was almost in title contention every one of those years, but his title bids were often hampered by crashes. Eventually he moved back to Vauxhall and won 2 championships, and then raced part-time for Seat in 2006 and Team Halfords Honda in 2009, when he won 3 races and could have been a title challenger if he stayed for the full year. He has been in and out of touring cars and has since seemingly given it up for good. Josh Cook, 16 wins. I'm surprised Josh Cook is this high on the list. I hadn't realised just how many races he has won in the BTCC. He's about to start his 10th year in the British touring cars and he has 18 wins behind him. Apart from a couple with Vauxhall, they have been in a Honda, which he has spent the majority of his time with, joining BTC in 2019 and remaining with them until 2023. He had 5 wins in 2021 and 5 in 2022. He finished 4th overall in 2019 and 3rd in 2021. He has been a star in a Honda, and I think he's going to do big things in a Toyota in 2024. Gordon Shedden, 52 wins. It's a big jump from Honda's 3rd highest winner Josh Cook to their 2nd highest winner, 3-time champion Gordon Shedden. He has raced in Hondas for 424 starts out of a 438 total. First for Team Halfords in 2006 in the Honda Integra, taking 4 wins in his first year. That wasn't in the production class. He finished in the top 3 in the championship every year between 2010 and 2016, winning 3 championships and establishing himself as one of the top stars of the modern era. He left after the 2017 season to pursue a run in the World TCR Championship, where he did take 1 win in an Audi, but he returned to the BTCC for a couple more years in 2021, taking 4 wins in a Honda before joining Team Dynamics on the sidelines. Matt Neal, 56 wins. And the man who has won the most races in a Honda in the BTCC is, of course, Matt Neal. Despite starting his time in the British touring cars in 1991, he didn't race a Honda until 2003, racing a BMW, Mazda, Ford, Nissan, Peugeot and Vauxhall before getting on the Honda winning train. He then raced in a Honda between 2003 and 2020, apart from a couple of years with Vauxhall. He took 9 wins in the Civic in 2003 and 2004, won 2 championships and took 14 wins in the Integra in 2005 and 2006. He returned to Honda in 2010, finishing runner-up, won another title in 2011 and then finished runner-up again in 2012. After that, the wins started to slow down, taking only 11 in his last 7 seasons in the BTCC, and he has since retired after spending 30 years as part of the British touring cars. So they were every single race winner for Honda in the British touring cars. 198 wins puts Honda second in the all-time manufacturer win list behind Ford, but it is really sad that we will not see Honda add to their incredible record in 2024. Maybe we will see a Honda in the BTCC again in 2025. So, some shout-outs for Honda drivers who didn't win a race. James Kay spent much of his time in the BTCC in a Honda, mostly as an independent, but only ever got on the podium once. As did David Pinkney in his couple of seasons in an Integra. Johnny Herbert did a few races in a Honda Civic in 2009. John George raced an Integra for several years in the mid to late 2000s. And let's not forget the likes of Jade Edwards and Andy Neate. Gone, but not forgotten, not until the therapy kicks in. And of course, Martin Ray, whose sole appearance in a Honda Prelude in 1988 is the oldest Honda entry I can find. Let me know in the comments who your favourite Honda drivers were and any favourite Honda memories. Remember to subscribe to the channel, leave a like and tell your friends. Thank you very much for watching and have a good one.